A dripping tap, a broken lock, a leaking ceiling, or an air conditioner that stops cooling can turn a rental home into a stressful place quickly. A maintenance request is the formal way a tenant tells the landlord or property manager that something needs attention. Done properly, it protects the home and creates a record. The first step is noticing the difference between inconvenience and urgency. A loose cabinet handle may be annoying, but a burst pipe is urgent. A broken oven matters, but a broken front door lock can affect safety. The speed of the response often depends on how serious the problem is. Most leases or property portals explain how requests should be submitted. Some landlords want an email. Some use an app. Some require a phone call for emergencies and written follow-up afterward. The method matters because a request made in the wrong place may be missed or delayed. A strong maintenance request is specific. Instead of saying, "The bathroom is bad," the tenant should explain that water is leaking from under the sink, the cabinet floor is wet, and the leak started yesterday evening. Specific details help the manager send the right person with the right tools. Photos and videos can prevent confusion. A picture of the leak, crack, stain, or damaged appliance shows the condition at the time of reporting. If the issue gets worse later, the original photo helps prove that the tenant reported it early rather than hiding it. Emergency issues should be treated differently. Fire, flooding, gas smell, major electrical danger, no secure entry, or complete loss of essential services may require immediate action. A tenant should follow emergency instructions in the lease, contact the right emergency service when needed, and inform the landlord as soon as possible. Once the request is received, the landlord or property manager usually reviews it. They may ask questions, check responsibility, decide whether it is urgent, and assign a vendor or maintenance worker. A clear request can move faster because fewer follow-up questions are needed before scheduling. Scheduling is often the next friction point. The tenant may need to allow access, choose a time window, secure pets, or be home for the repair. If the tenant repeatedly misses appointments, the repair can be delayed and sometimes extra trip charges may become an issue. Responsibility affects who pays. If the water heater fails from age, the landlord usually handles it. If a tenant's guest breaks a door, the tenant may be charged. If food scraps clog a kitchen drain, the answer may depend on the lease and the plumber's finding. Normal wear and tear is different from damage. A worn seal, aging appliance, or loose hinge after years of use may be a property maintenance issue. A cracked sink from dropping a heavy object is different. Maintenance requests often become disputes when that line is unclear. Tenants should avoid delaying reports out of fear. A small leak, pest sighting, or electrical smell may feel embarrassing, but waiting can make the final repair more expensive. Early reporting shows responsibility. Silence can make it look as if the tenant allowed the damage to spread. Landlords also have responsibilities. They should respond within a reasonable time, especially for health, safety, and habitability issues. A tenant paying rent is entitled to a usable home. If important repairs are ignored, tenants may need to follow local rules for written notices, escalation, or official complaints. Communication should stay calm and documented. A message that says, "The air conditioner stopped cooling at 8 p.m. The thermostat shows this temperature, and here is a photo," is more useful than an angry message with no details. Clear records help everyone focus on the repair. After the repair, the tenant should check the work. Does the leak stop? Does the lock close properly? Does the appliance run safely? If the problem continues, the tenant should report that quickly. A closed ticket does not always mean the issue is actually solved. Some repairs require more than one visit. A technician may inspect first, order parts, then return later. That delay can be frustrating, but it is different from ignoring the request. The tenant should ask for updates and keep the timeline in writing. Maintenance requests can affect the security deposit later. If the tenant reported problems, allowed access, and documented the condition, they have a stronger record. If they never reported an issue and the damage appears at move-out, the landlord may argue it was neglected. A renter should also know what not to request as maintenance. Changing decor, upgrading a working appliance, or repainting for preference may not be the landlord's duty. Maintenance usually means keeping the property safe, functional, and in the condition promised by the lease. A good request includes 5 things. What is wrong, where it is, when it started, how serious it seems, and evidence such as photos. That simple information helps the landlord make a decision and helps the tenant show they acted responsibly. The best maintenance process is not dramatic. It is boring in the right way. The tenant reports clearly, the landlord responds, the repair is scheduled, access is arranged, and the result is checked. When each step is documented, fewer problems turn into arguments. A maintenance request is more than a complaint. It is the communication system that keeps a rental home livable and protects both sides from confusion. The sooner the right information reaches the right person, the easier it is to stop a small repair from becoming a large dispute. Some properties separate maintenance from improvements. Repairing a broken stove is maintenance. Replacing a working stove with a newer model is an upgrade. A tenant may want an upgrade, but the landlord usually has to provide function, not luxury, unless the lease promises a specific standard. Follow-up is important when a repair affects safety or daily living. A tenant should not send 10 angry messages in 1 hour, but they should ask for a status update if there is no response within the expected time. Polite persistence keeps the issue visible without making communication harder. For landlords, organized maintenance requests protect the property's value. A small roof leak, pest problem, or electrical fault can become far more expensive if ignored. A good system helps the owner know what is happening inside the home before damage spreads. If the same issue returns after repair, the follow-up should mention the earlier visit. Saying, "The sink is leaking again after last week's repair," gives the manager better context than starting over. Recurring problems often need a deeper fix, not another quick surface repair. The final habit is simple. Report early, describe clearly, document with photos, allow access, and confirm the result. That sequence turns maintenance from a fight into a process. It does not guarantee instant repairs, but it gives both sides a clear path to solve the problem. This helps both sides because repairs often become emotional when nobody can prove what was reported, when it was reported, or what was promised next. A clear request turns memory into a record, and that record is what keeps a small household problem from becoming a landlord-tenant argument.